data engineering interview questions. So there is, in this round, there is 5 interview questions which we are going to talk. First one is, how does Azure Data Factory handle the orchestration of data? Second one is comparison with AWS, Glue, Azure, and Data Factory versus Databricks. And third one, we are going to talk about, what are the best practice for implementing infrastructure as a code, right? And fourth one, we are going to how to manage data security and data governance, and then live coding related to, right? So let's go through the first one. So what I did, I prepared just now. Basically, ADF is nothing but is a combination of pipelines, and each pipeline have 4 to 5 components like integration, IR, services, activity, and again, activity will be data movement, ETL, and the loop, and data sets and link services. So link service also should come here. It's part of this. And yeah, so let's talk about this one in the details. Okay. So pipeline, as you know, pipeline is nothing. Pipeline is a workflow that defines data move from transform. Can have multiple activity, data movement, transformation, and control. Activity have data movement, data transformation, control flow, and data sets is nothing but it's Azure Data Blob Storage, SQL DB, Snowflake, ADLC, SFTP, REST API. And link services is nothing but connection setting, like similar to JDBC connection and traditional ETL system. Integration runtime is that ADF does not process directly instead of use ADF. It's called integration runtime, IR services. Now, how ADF handle orchestration? They copy data from ETL, and then they copy activity, then data flow activity, then storage activity, and data transformation just use some kind of Spark and drag and drop. Your scheduling, they use event-based scheduling. And then monitoring and logging purpose, we use the track the pipeline runtime failure. So built-in monitoring dashboard, logs, storage Azure monitor. We use integration with logs, analytics, and application, and alerts and auto retry available in failure, right? So that's available. This is what we talk. Now compare AWS, Azure, and Databricks. So we have ETL, and then all these tools we use for ETL. Glue is AWS product, ADF is Microsoft product, and Databricks is independent unified platform for batch, real-time, and AI. Right. So we have all this comparison. So I will go here. So types, AWS Glue is serverless, Azure is ETL orchestration, unified data and AI platform. Process engine is Spark engine, data flow is Spark based. Again, this is also Spark. So most of this best for batch ETL schema management, AWS Glue. This is no code ETL, and Databricks used for advanced ETL big data ANL. Easy to use, low code in Glue. Drag and drop is very easy, required coding. Performance, auto scaling, optimized for batch, easy pipeline orchestration, high performance and tenable Spark job. Cost mode, pay as use, pay as pipeline execution, pay compute cluster. So this is a little bit expensive. Real time, Glue, limited. Azure, yes, Event Hub, streaming data flow. Databricks use a structure streaming Kafka. Infrastructure fully managed, use Azure Compute, required the cluster management. Data connectivity, S3, Redshift, RDS, DynamoDB, Azure Synapse, Data Lake, SQL Server, S3, ADL, Snowflake, and Data Lake many. So this is what we are going, we already gone here. And now let's talk about Terraform, right? So what are the best practices for implementing infrastructure as a code? Best practices, as you know, right? There may be multiple. Terraform is most popular infrastructure as a code called IAC tool, allowing to define, manage, and cloud declarity to scalability, security, and maintainability. Used for remote state management, avoid local file change. Like Terraform is used for remote file management. So losing the file, losing the infrastructure, collaborate in difficult. So for this Terraform. So if you example, this is Terraform. Bucket is S3, but backend is S3, bucket is this my Terraform bucket, key is this one key, region is US, encrypted true, dynamic tables, right? Use module for reusability and maintainability. Why? Avoid writing duplicate Terraform code for each resource. Organize code into modules and common infrastructure pattern. use variable files about hard codings, right? So Terraform, we can use variables. This can be avoid for hard coding. Okay. Implement role-based, privilege, giving full access to Terraform execution security risk, right? Enable Terraform plan review before applying changes. It's also allowing to, plan and it is sorry, and use for CI/CD for Terraform automation. Also can use for CI/CD automation. So I'm not going in detail, but you guys can use. And this is the code. Prevent manual error, ensure approval workflow before applying changes, implement Terraform state locking, also allow to state locking and so on, right? And next, this is the example which I have given. Secure sensitive data. So there are a lot of things, but most of these things is used for automation, used for remote state, used for module and reusability, used for variables, implement role-based access, use Terraform plan before apply, automate Terraform with CI/CD, enable state locking, and store secret securely vault service manager. Now, question is for how do you manage data security and data governance in Z? It's very important. So how do you manage? There may be role-based access can given, data access control for data access. First thing, data access, how do you manage? Prevent unauthorized access following like Azure role-based control. Best practice, use principal list, right? Data encryption, use it, right? While transition encryption, Azure account, like enable service-side encryption. By default, Azure encryption, all the data rest of AES 256. You can use Microsoft Managed Key and Azure Key Vault we can use. Best practice, disable HTTP access, Azure private link, data masking and classification. Use data classification Azure, right? There is an Azure service can use. So there are various service which can implement it, but I'm not going to, but high level access control, use least privilege access in Azure. Data encryption, encrypt REST, SSE, CMK in transit. Data masking, use dynamic data masking. Data classification, use preview as a label secure. Network isolation, logging monitoring also use. Okay, like coding, this is very important, right? So please pause video and you try to give the answer. Write a Terraform script, deploy Databricks workspace and Azure. So how do you do? Like coding challenge to deploy, create Azure resource group, deploy Databricks workspace, configure VPN, VNet, subnet, use remote state storage, Terraform. Like coding challenge, create Azure resource group, deploy Azure Databricks workspace, configure Terraform. This is how like it. Variable output backend. Terraform Databricks, main TF, variable TF outputs. Main TF we have right like a resource group, name, location, provider is Azure, features, create virtual network, create resource group, create network for virtual. This is what create subnet for Databricks private link, deploy Azure Databricks workspace custom variables, backhand, deploy Databricks workspace, initialize Terraform, initialize, plan, apply for changes, auto approvals, verifies, and so on, right? Hands-on project. So you guys, please watch, like, and subscribe. Thank you for